scientists have found that the number one leadership trait that will decide whether you'll become a great leader or not is self-awareness. Once you start seeing that, why does my boss always come to me with all the crappy projects? Because you've been saying yes to them. We people please because we feel unsafe and then we want to bring safety. But abandoning yourself creates more unsafe. You're not going to be an equal anywhere. This is our job, to raise ourselves up, to lift ourselves up, and being in a community of strong women.
The menstrual cycle in and of itself is a self-care framework. It literally is. Because if you are in tune to it and not feeling inconvenienced by it and not seeing your body as an inconvenience, then you're really able to tap in, pay attention, and honor what's happening in this phase of your life. Hello and welcome to Self Care Oasis. This is Samantha Gregory, the host. I'm your self-care alchemist, and I help women transform burnout into better boundaries, more balance, and bliss through radical self-care and self-devotion. So today the question is, how do we deal with what's happening in the world without losing sight of ourselves? And my guest today, Ms. Vibha, she is here to help facilitate that conversation. And I'm so looking forward to what she brings, because she's all about boundaries and self-care and women in the workplace, and how the energy that we are trying to reclaim for ourselves can truly be achieved much more than we try to achieve all the other things in our lives, because our energy is so important. So welcome, Vibha. Thank you so much for being a part of the podcast and the conversation.
Hey, Samantha. Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me here. I'm so excited to be here. Just loving the conversation we were having before we even started. So I'm excited.
Before we even dive deep into the conversation, tell us who you are, what you do, and how you're making a difference in the world today.
I'm a mindset and leadership coach for women, and I help women become empowered leaders, no matter where they are, whether that's in their personal life or in their careers or even in their motherhood, and whatever phase of life that they currently find themselves in. In my coaching approach, I use different modalities. So I use ancient spiritual wisdom because I've been a meditator for many years and I've lived those principles in my life and I see the impact of it. So ancient spiritual wisdom, I use modern coaching tools, and I'm also a women's health specialist. So I bring in the latest research as well so that women can understand their bodies better, because embodiment is a core part of the work that I teach.
So I know we have so many things to talk about, but I just really want to kind of hone in on continuing the conversation before we started recording about awareness of who you are as a person, protecting your energy no matter what it looks like on the outside. Politically, like, things seem to be falling apart, but how do you stay grounded and connected to yourself and connected to other people who are also on this journey and path of more self-awareness?
Yeah, I think it's such an important discussion to have, because through multiple studies and researchers, scientists have found that the number one leadership trait that will decide whether you'll become a great leader or not is self-awareness. And I see why self-awareness is so important, because once you know yourself, self-awareness is the practice of really going inward, seeing all that you're good at, even your shadows, all of it, and owning all of it, being proud of all of it. Because what tends to happen is that if you're not self-aware, anything that's happening outside is going to shake you. It's going to shake your confidence. Somebody comes and tells you something and you're like all up and furious and taking it personally, when really it means nothing about you and everything about them.
Right.
And their insecurities that are being projected onto you, politically, what is happening. And people are currently in a state of fear. And I hear that a lot with AI coming in, with the chaos that's happening outside, and people are constantly like, what's going to happen? There's so much uncertainty. what they don't realize is we've been on the planet for millions of years. There's always been uncertainty. Change has always been happening, except that now it's happening much, much faster. And what I say to everyone is that even the most regulated people need to make an effort right now to stay regulated. So if you think that I'm just going to binge on Netflix and like everything's good, life is good, that's how life is going to be, then I'm sorry, that's not how it works. You need to make an effort to ground yourself, to connect with yourself. And people think that, oh, I need to overhaul my life. I need to be going to the gym 5-6 times a day and I need to be doing this. It doesn't really take that much. The best part is we have all the research, we have all the tools, and we have all the understanding. It can take sometimes as little as 5 minutes of connecting with yourself to change your perspective and just start feeling more safer.
I think that's so key, is feeling safety inside of yourself. And you can't really achieve that if you don't have good self-awareness, if you don't know who you are, if you aren't grounded in your identity. And identity shift, it changes, especially if you want it to change and you're ready to move out of a place of an identity of fear and moving into more, not faith necessarily, even though that's important, but just I'm safe where I am and who I am, and I'm living in joy. I'm living in enough. I'm living in this space where I am no longer allowing the outside expressions and trauma and drama and crisis to move me like I'm in a boat on an ocean that's turbulent during a storm. So I think it's just so important just to recognize where the energy leaks are coming from and learning ways to plug those leaks so that you can be stable and grounded no matter what's happening.
I think all of that self-awareness is part of understanding how are you contributing to the cycles that are going on right now in your life. How are you contributing to the drama? It's because most people think, oh, it's my mom, it's my partner, it's my children, it's my siblings, whatever,
Right.
my boss, my colleague. But how are you contributing to these cycles of blame, you taking accountability for your part, for your involvement? And most people think they kind of shy away from this because they think, oh, I'm bad.
Yeah.
It's me. I'm the problem. We're not doing this to self-blame and to make ourselves smaller and to beat ourselves up. The reason we're doing this is to actually take our power back. Once you start seeing that, why does my boss always come to me with all the crappy projects? Because you've been saying yes to them.
Right.
Because you're constantly not questioning it, you're accepting it. And just by becoming more aware of these patterns, you can be like, okay, now I have a choice. It's his job to bring me the projects that people need to work on, but then it's my choice. I can say like, okay, I did this last time. I don't want to do this anymore. This is not connected to my goals, my bigger goals. And this is what is priority for me. So you can have conversations and you can speak up, but I feel like most people just accept things as they are and just think and start to believe that they don't have the power to change things.
Yeah, and I think because we've been programmed, conditioned, groomed to believe that people in power or people who have more authority know what's best for us. And I think that, again, that's part of self-awareness and recognizing I am powerful. I do have the power of choice. And even on top of that, another layer is radical responsibility. That's what I like to call it, because this is a space where everything that's happening to me is what I've allowed, or it's what I've intentionally created in my life. And so by becoming radically responsible for it, then I take my power back, like you mentioned earlier. This is about a power dynamic where you're not giving your power away anymore, but by taking responsibility, you're reclaiming it. And that way, no matter what's happening on the job, what's happening in the community, what's happening in your home, when you're responsible for everything that is happening to you or going through you, then you are that much more powerful.
Yeah. And it reminds me of this quote by Mark Gross. He said that every time you experience an external betrayal,
Mm.
there was an internal betrayal that precedes that.
Wow.
Almost always, there was an internal betrayal preceding the external betrayal. And your job through self awareness is to find out, how did you betray yourself? How did you abandon yourself?
Okay.
And when women tend to do these things like people pleasing and, just saying yes to things. And I know there's a lot behind this. I'm not blaming the women. There's a lot of conditioning, and this is what we've been taught. And often it is to create safety. We people please because we feel unsafe, and then we want to bring safety. But abandoning yourself creates more unsafety, which is where the cycle persists, right?
Yeah.
That's what self awareness does. It just gives you these points where you're like, that's what I've been doing. That's what's holding me back.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's so powerful when you get to this place where you're recognizing that, first of all, and then you're taking the steps to change it. But a lot of times people don't know the steps to take because they have been in this loop, in this cycle of always people pleasing, very flimsy boundaries, can't say no, always afraid that their no is going to, it will mean they're rejecting someone, so that person is going to reject them. They're trying to extract love, extract acceptance, extract validation from everyone else by being conflict averse or by always people pleasing. So, what are the steps that people can take, that women can take, especially women in the corporate world and in their personal life, so personal and professional life, that they can take to start the journey, not just start it, but to maintain the process of self empowerment and moving out of that place of self sacrifice and more into self actualization?
Yeah. And that is, it just reminds me of what I did also, all the mistakes that I made, because I was in the same cycle of people
Sure.
pleasing and sacrificing, because that's what I saw from the time I was a little girl.
Yeah.
I saw my moms, my aunts, my sisters, all of them doing the same thing. And I thought, okay, this is how I get worse. And that was the meaning that my mind made of it. If I'm not helping somebody, I'm not worthy.
Yes.
And most women have such a hard time receiving.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, how it started was I grew up in a big family, joint family. I don't know if you know about it, but in the Indian system, there used to be joint families. My dad, his brothers, their wives, their kids all grew up together. It's like
Okay.
40-member family. And women are in the kitchen all the time, cooking, kids, and men are going out to work. It's very separated, kind of like an environment. Even as a child, I could see something's wrong with this, right? This is not how things should be. But I didn't have my voice.
Yeah.
No, there was nobody who would believe me, trust me. And as I grew up, I started to get exposed. So I grew up in Dubai, but not in Dubai, in a small town near Dubai. It's called Egypt. Most people don't know about it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have exposure. And then I had to, once I stepped out of my small town, went to study and everything, it was like a rush. And I was like, what? People respect me? They want to hear me? What? Wow. What a world. They want to hear my opinions. And that's what I saw happened when I went to the workplace as well, because this is the conditioning women tend to carry, right? You never received importance. Your feelings never mattered at home. So when you go to the workplace and they do give you a little bit, and a lot of it is breadcrumbing.
Sure.
Breadcrumbing, right? You're like, oh, wow, they accept me. I have freedom. I can express my opinions. This is great. I love it. And then women tend to not ask for more than that, because beyond that is greedy. I had a client once come to me and she's like, I have everything. I have a great job. I have a great boss, and I'm still not happy. And her mind she wanted more, she desired more, but she was like, I must be greedy. Why am I not happy?
Yeah.
But what people don't realize, there is an innate intelligence in your desire. You gotta trust it. You gotta trust this desire, because I've been in the corporate world for 12 years. And I was like, I want more. This is not it for me.
Yeah.
And there was so much fear as I was going into this world of entrepreneurship. And I was like, am I going to be able to do it? I've never done it. But I followed the desire, I could feel that I was meant for something different. I was meant for something bigger. And I will tell you, it took reflection from women around me to make me realize that I could do this. And it was a journey that I had to walk through. I never thought I was ambitious, because I'm like, I never wanted to be a CEO of a company. I never wanted to be a GM of a company, because the way they were leading, to me, it didn't resonate with me at all. So I'm like, I can't do what they do. So that must mean I can't be a CEO. Right. And it was one of my mentors, and she told me, Vibha, you're so ambitious. And I was like, what? Kind of like a negative word it was at that point. Ambitious. She's like, you're so ambitious. You don't let anything stop you. And oftentimes what tends to happen is women are in the photograph. You're in the photograph. You can't see what other people can see. For me, that has been the biggest thing.
Okay.
Having somebody reflect back to me the truth. Because we tend to form meanings, and women do it from the conditioning they received.
Yeah.
You always, I went into spirituality because I thought there I'll be an equal. But I didn't find it anywhere, because because every field, every belief system is entrenched with patriarchy. We're not going to be an equal anywhere. This is our job, to raise ourselves up, to lift ourselves up, and being in a community of strong women, supportive women, women who are not going to tear you down because you're succeeding, women who are going to lift you. Every woman needs these women.
Yes.
And for me, I had 2 coaches
Okay.
that I worked with, and they really helped me figure out, understand what it is that I wanted to build, what was meaningful to me, and how do I want to give back to the world. There is nothing wrong with needing support. Every woman is going to need support, right? Everybody needs support. People think Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, they just kind of got where they are overnight.
No.
Not how things happen. They all had support, right? But what tends to happen in a patriarchal world is they would just name the guy. It's just him by himself. Wow, what a masterful move, kind of.
He's a hero.
He's a hero, right? And women never get that.
Right.
We never get that. We don't have the role models. And I hear that as well, right? Some of the clients who come to me, and I would tell them, she's like, I can do this and I can do that role. So I'm like, why aren't you doing it? And she's like, but that's what my boss does. I'd be encroaching, and I'd be asking for this, and I'm asking for more. I'm too much. All of these thoughts kind of tend to hold us back, and they keep us from owning our whole self.
Yeah.
So one is a supportive community. So you got to find that. And what happened was, when I started doing the work, these people started showing up.
Yeah.
Right? Your circle starts to change. Once your energy on the inside changes, it starts to reflect on the world outside. The opportunities started showing up. Right? So start with the inner work. All here. Start with the inner work, because you're going to project that on the outside. If you're disempowered, you're going to project disempowerment. You're going to attract disempowerment. If you're empowered, you're going to project that. You're going to attract that. So it starts with the inner work. It starts with self-awareness and reflection, journaling, reading books. There was when I went on my entrepreneurship journey and I knew I wanted to work with women, the whole year I read books written by women.
Okay.
And they were all about empowerment. And I fed off of that energy, and I created my own fire. And I nurtured that fire. And there was one other mentor of mine as well, who felt my fire. She didn't just reflect back to me and tell me that, no, you're good and everything. She felt it.
Mm.
And when I told her I'm not going back to the corporate world, I'm doing this, she's like, you must follow that. And it's the realization that the magic is inside you.
Yes, it
The
is.
music is inside you. You just got to share it with the world. You're
Mhm.
just going to be brave enough to give voice to it.
Mhm.
I don't know if it's making sense,
Yeah,
but
absolutely. And I think because the self-awareness, community, trusting the fire or building the fire in you and allowing other people to reflect back to you who you are, where your greatness is. But I think, like you mentioned earlier, coming from an environment where you are not celebrated, as it were, you are relegated to the support person, you're relegated to the background, and you don't have people to really say, hey, I see you, or hey, I think that you're amazing, that you're great, you have these talents and these skills, but even without those, you're still amazing. If you don't have that, it's so that's the story and the narrative that you create in your mind, like you said, the meaning you make about your worth, your value, where you should step up or not, how you shrink back or how you show up. And when you're able to get into the space where, okay, I'm gonna trust that and become more self-aware of who I am, what gifts I bring to the world, where skills and talents and all that good stuff, and then being in a community because you're reflecting that now, it shifts and changes everything for you. You mentioned when you finally left and got into this bigger space where people were really celebrating you, maybe breadcrumbs at the beginning, but you recognize it. Okay, I can't ask for more. I can require more than what I'm getting now because I'm worth it. I'm worthy. And if I don't allow myself to reach my full potential, then I am leaving a legacy on the table. I'm leaving money on the table. I'm leaving, potential relationships on the table. So I must be more. I must be too much, as it were.
absolutely, absolutely, such a disservice to the world to not share your magic, to not share your music. I mean,
Hmm.
and I share this often in the workshops that I do. Like currently in 2025, only 10% of the leaders in Fortune 500 companies are women.
Hmm.
And I think only like 2% are women of color.
Ah, yep.
I don't share this to make you feel disappointed or dejected. I share this as an opportunity. The
Hmm.
world needs your leadership. The world needs diversity.
Hey, Samantha, quick note about something I've been working on. You know how much I talk about radical self care and protecting your energy? Well, I realized tech chaos is one of the biggest energy drains for the women I serve. So I created Bliss Tech Solutions, my tech therapist practice for wellness coaches, consultants, and female founders who are done with tech overwhelm. If you need systems that actually work, AI powered content creation, or just someone who understands both tech and boundaries, I'm here for you. Visit blisstechsolutions.com or DM me. Let's reclaim your time and your peace.
The reason we are in the chaos that we are in is because of that number, right?
Mm-hmm.
So being brave and finding that empowerment. And you know what? There are so many ways to do it. And one really important thing that I think women should learn is embodiment.
Mm-hmm.
Because what tends to happen is our energy is very much in the head right now.
Yes.
We just are in the mind, all the
Mm-hmm.
time in the mind. And we've forgotten the body in the process. And what
Mm-hmm.
I teach women is take your body along with you on this journey of empowerment because that's where the gold is.
Yeah.
Gold is in the body. Most women also find it hard to be in the body. The
Mm-hmm.
body is just an unsafe space for most women. There's so much history of abuse. There is objectification, sexualization, and it's just constantly conflicting views, opinions inflicted upon your body that it can be
Mm-hmm.
really hard. I do use somatic work, coaching, and you got to be really gentle with that because often when there's just a feeling of unsafety, it can be really hard.
Mm-hmm.
Once people get into their body, and there are so many ways to get into their body. I started with my cycle.
Mm-hmm.
So I learned about the 4 phases of
Okay.
cycle. And when I learned that for the first time, I had goosebumps
Okay.
all over my body, because at that time, like 8 years ago, nobody was talking on Instagram.
Right.
It wasn't as widespread as it is
Mm-hmm.
now.
Mm-hmm.
And it happened like face to face, that she was one of my other mentors and guides. And when she told me, I had goosebumps, and I went to her. I had never seen this woman before. And I went to her and I was like, you gotta tell me everything there is to know about this, because my mind is blown right now.
Right.
And she was like, yeah. She said, I'm doing something, join it. And I went to her course that she was doing at that time, a women's circle.
Uh-huh.
And believe it or not, before that point, in the Indian culture, periods are seen as dirty, it's
Mm-hmm.
taboo. All of that was not how it was. I think this happened post-colonization.
Sure.
Yeah, we would just be told to follow certain rules. You can't go into the kitchen. And then I read deeper about it. I found every book that I could read, and I found that there were reasons for it. It was actually to protect the woman and her energy, because your energy during this period is in a downward flow.
Right.
This is why women were not allowed to go into the temples, because in the temples, the energy is always rising.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the opposing energetic force, which you don't want during this time.
Sure. Okay.
Right? And once I learned about these things, I was like, I went to all my sisters and I was like, guys, it's this one. It's not the other thing that we've been told. They were not as mind blown by it as I was.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, I got to find women who think this is magic.
Sure.
I used to have really painful periods. I used to be popping pills. As soon as I see the first spot, I'm like, all right, time to
Right.
take my pills. After that point, I haven't taken pills. I haven't taken painkillers over the last 8 years.
Okay.
And my cycles became so much easier. I started talking to my womb space.
Mm-hmm.
I started following the phases. I don't really need to chart my cycle,
Okay.
because I know what's happening in the body.
Yeah.
I'm in tune, and I know, oh, I'm in the ovulation phase. Ovulation is here. And I can feel when PMS hits me, So this is embodiment. This is you living in tune with your body. This is you listening to the signals before it's too late.
Mm-hmm.
So I know when I've pushed myself too much, I'm like, okay, I need to take a break. I need to slow down. I need to delegate. And whatever it is, I need to postpone things. If that's happened, I feel it in my body.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what can happen, because to me, embodiment is such a buzzword as well right now. And again, people are making it a mental thing.
Right.
It's when you live it, when you just know my boundaries are being broken, right? Boundaries are being encroached upon, and something's coming up for me at this point.
Wow.
Cycle is another way to embody.
Yeah.
Your body's hunger signals. People don't listen to these things anymore. Your body has become like this. Everything else comes first. My body comes last. And
It's like,
that's why we're seeing such big issues in women's health as well, period-related issues. And so embodiment to me is prioritizing, becoming so in tune with your body. The intuition, the wisdom starts speaking to you. You don't have to ask anybody.
Yeah.
You know it.
Wow. I love that I'm postmenopausal now, but when I was in that space, I was getting more and more attuned to what was happening with my body. I was tracking, I was doing all the things. And then burnout happened and early menopause. But that the cycle, menstrual cycle in and of itself is a self-care framework. It literally is. Because if you are in tune to it and not feeling inconvenienced by it and not seeing your body as an inconvenience, then you're really able to tap in, pay attention, and honor what's happening in this phase of your life based on what's happening in your menstrual cycle. So I really love that you were able to experienced this revelation 8 years ago and, began to like learn more, become more in tune, embody it, and treating your body like an important member of your family because it is. And it's not an inconvenience. It's like this is what allows you to actually be here on this planet is your body. So treat it well.
Yeah. What I notice is like the Western medicine kind of connects, associates period with reproduction.
Mm-hmm.
Like the only purpose of period is reproduction.
Right.
But it's so much more than that.
Mm-hmm.
It is, you can tell what's happening in your body with the way the cycles are going.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell through the blood what's going on with your body. If you have
Mm-hmm.
issues, are you not cleansing every month?
Mm-hmm.
And initially, I just feel like, ugh. And then I changed the relationship with the blood.
Mm-hmm.
I started seeing it as sacred.
Yes.
And we know now Western science is using the stem cells from the blood to solve big issues in medicine.
Mm-hmm.
And it has the regenerative power that we haven't really seen anywhere else. And
Mm-hmm.
it is the perception. When you change it here, notice, become aware of how do you think about it?
Mm-hmm.
If you think about something that's in your body as, ugh, why do I have it?
Right.
How is your body going to feel? If your
Yeah.
body's like, oh my God, this is a big inconvenience,
Mm-hmm.
you're creating unsafety in the body.
Yes.
You're creating scenarios for you to be in fight or flight all the time.
So true.
Yeah.
Yeah. And your body starts to fight back. It starts to be disloyal to a degree. It allows pathogens and everything to come in. It allows disease. It allows, because like the fight and flight, which creates the stress, which creates other cycles you don't want to be happening in your body. You find that you're having fibroid issues, you're having endometrial issues, you're having all kinds of reproductive organ issues because of the mindset. And I'm not saying that that's the only reason why, but it's a big reason why. And I've noticed a lot of women who, in my life, the ones who've had repressed energy, stressful energies, most of them have had reproductive issues. I had reproductive issues when I went into early menopause, 32, 33 years old. So that was telling, that was saying, hey, wake up. And it usually for women, it usually hits the reproductive organs first. And then everything else kind of flows from that, which is unfortunate.
In Ayurveda, they say that your reproductive layer is the last layer in the body to get nourished.
Mm.
There are 7 layers in the body that have to get nourished, and the reproductive layer is the last one.
Okay.
Your reproductive system will only function well when all the layers are getting the nutrition that they need. So your body has an innate intelligence that when you're under severe stress, this isn't a priority. Reproduction is not a priority. So let's shut that system down so she can focus on what it is that she needs to focus on. This happens to a lot of women where their periods go missing because of extreme stress, extreme duress, because your body's like, let's shut this system down. She doesn't have the energy for it,
Right.
resources for it.
And here's something I remember. It took a while, and this happened years ago. I remember when I was 16 years old, I was in boarding school, extreme stress. I did not have my period for like 3 or 4 months. I was not in any relationship, but it shut down for like 3 or 4, maybe even 6 months. I don't remember. And I'm like, what is happening? But because I was in such extreme stress, my body was like, she doesn't need this.
Yeah.
And then I guess the stress subsided a little bit and then it came back. And I was just, wow. It was so weird to me. And I didn't really tell anybody about it or anything because I didn't really want any questions. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
At
what's going to
16.
come at you. Yeah.
Right. But then at 32, 16 years later, it was just like, oh, we're doing this again? No, ma'am. we're just going to just completely just shut the whole thing down and you need to figure out your life. So, and that's what started this journey for me.
Yeah, it affects our body, right? Because for me, what started this journey was I got an autoimmune condition as well.
Okay.
So autoimmune conditions are conditions where your body is attacking itself, right? So there is that level of disconnection between you and your body, that your body starts attacking itself. And I have celiac disease, which is, most people are like, "Oh, it's just a gluten allergy." Yeah, it's mostly a gluten allergy, but my body is not functioning like it should. And I suffered quite a bit physically before I found stability through this work. I went into meditation. I went into doing this work, getting in tune with my cycles, and all of that slowly brought me back to my center. And then I remember when I was moving from Dubai to Canada, and that company reached out to my company in Canada, and they were like, this person is moving there. Can you please hire her? She's one of our assets. You guys should take her. And they interviewed me. They were like, we would like to have you in our team. And the moment they said that, I could just feel disappointment. And I was just like, oh my God, I wish they didn't say that. And I was there in the interview because I was like, who knows what's going to happen? I might need a backup plan to support my family. And that's what happened from being in this journey of being in connection with my body said no. I just had this intense, like, I'm going to vomit. Great. My body answered for me.
Yeah.
And then I didn't really go there. Our life is calling me forward. I trusted the intelligence.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love that. Well, this has been an amazing conversation. I have learned a lot from you. The layers, and you spoke about I'll pronounce it.
Ayurveda.
Yes.
Ayurveda.
The layers in Ayurveda. So that's news for me. So I'm going to do some research on that. But thank you for sharing just about your process, about the menstrual cycle and the connection there and embodiment, just for being present for this conversation, because I know that a lot of times we are distracted by everything else. But when you can find that voice that says, hey, come on back, and bring it back in, then it gives us permission to really just cut off the distractions for a while, turn inward, and reclaim the reconnection that's being severed by all the things happening. And it is, I always say this, that's an intentional system thing happening, because our energy is so valuable, our attention is so valuable, and they'll do whatever it takes in order to extract that energy from us through our attention. So this has been a wonderful conversation. And I'd love to know for you share where people can find you online, how they can connect with you, and if you have any programs or offers that you have that you want to share, I would love to hear it.
Yeah. So I have this 1:1 coaching container. I call it the Worthy Women's Project. And you can find me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is Heal Her Way, HealHerWay. I even have a website, healherway.ca. I just want to share that I do a lot of empowerment coaching. And initially, I thought that a lot of women will come to me. They want to step up in their career. A lot of women, when we start talking, they're like, I want inner peace.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't we all?
Yes.
That's something that you get. Despite everything outside not being perfect, you control your inner environment. Inner peace is right here, as most of my clients learn as well.
Yes.
So wonderful talking to you, Samantha. I enjoyed myself so much. I have no idea how the time passed.
No.
And it was just lovely to hear about your stories as well.
Yes. Again, thank you so much for being here. All the information will be in the description box below. So tap in not just to Vibha, tap into yourself and really reclaim everything that has been lost over time because of conditions and stories, narratives that no longer work for you, and really start to reclaim who you are as a person so that you can expand your peace and your joy. That's what this Self Care Oasis is all about. It's a portal for you to expand your energy, expand your love, expand your joy. And I hope that you found a little bit of that in today's episode. Be sure to follow us, subscribe, and definitely leave a review on this particular episode. Thank you so much for being here, and we will see you again next time. Take care. And that's our conversation for today. Thank you for being here, for showing up for yourself, and for choosing self-devotion over self-sacrifice. Now I want to leave you with something special. This month's free gift is my 35 micro self-care practices for busy women guide. Inside, you'll find simple, sustainable practices you can use today, from quick stretches and breathing exercises to energy resets and mindful moments. No guilt, no overwhelm, just real self-care that works. Download it free at selfcarealchemist.com/selfcareguide. I'll also drop a link in the show notes. Pick one practice and try it today. Just one. That's how transformation begins. Thank you for listening to Self Care Oasis. I'm Samantha Gregory, and I'll see you next time. Until then, choose your bliss.